Hey guys, welcome to the Triple B Show. It's Otto Wallin, the oil driller from Sweden. Now remember guys, diversity is our greatest strength, okay? Yeah, that's right. Piss off, Otto. You're an embarrassment. You're a white quitter. You're an oil driller. You can't even get yourself in decent shape, man. You got the body of a university rugby player who doesn't do PE. That body that's like slightly untoned, but just quite big. You're obviously pathetic, man. So before I carry on with this video, I'm just gonna get a lot of stick. I got it before. I got it before on the David Morrell of Jesse Benavidez, because I was saying, man, there's something fishy about this, man. Morrell just didn't try hard enough. He didn't throw enough shots. He did a stupid alley shuffle instead of trying to knock out Benavidez. He didn't go after Benavidez after knocking him down. He was all smiles and happy at the end, even though he lost the decision, even though he claimed he won. It was very suspicious. And those that know, in the comments, like, I'm very suspicious about this fight. I said, I can't be 100%, But all the normies, you don't know anything about boxing. I bet you've never boxed, have you? I'm thinking, I know you've never boxed, but yes, I have. That's why I can see a fake, And them normies believe everything. The guys that write them kind of posts, I mean, you should at least be like, well, I'm not sure it was, but I get what you're saying. That, I'll accept that. But not that kind of, no way, you don't know anything about boxing, and all that kind of nonsense. And the people that say that are blue-pilled NPCs. They'll probably have 6 boosters and 8 jibber jabbers. Okay, guys? It's... Anyway, so the title of this video, I'll probably be getting some of the same. But I urge people to really look at it. I mean, as I said, it's a question. But let's look at the evidence, right? Was it a fix? Was it a fix for Chisora? Well, what are the signs though that it was a fix, and why would it be fixed? So let's go through that anyway, and then you guys can decide your own thing. So one of the things is that it was obviously made for a Chisora win. Okay, Chisora sells tickets. Let's imagine, right, that the whole thing was completely fair. And there was some weird scorecard, 114, 112 to Wallin. That was very odd. So that was very odd. I read a good article in Boxing News by Mark Butcher actually saying one of the things is because now you can bet on almost anything to do with boxing, like split decision, majority decision, this, that, and the other. So you just get one dodgy scorecard, like happened with Usyk v. Gage, and suddenly it's a split decision, and the odds might have been like 16 to 1 or something. Yeah, so you get one dodgy judge, and that may be the case here. When one guy goes, I'm going to go for Wallin, whatever, but, after the 2 knockdowns, it would have been a draw without them 2 knockdowns. But whatever, who knows? Boxing is easy to corrupt. You just need to corrupt one person. One person. It could be the fighter, it could be the ref, it could be a judge, or just a couple of people. I mean, the easiest one is obviously the fighter. It was set up for Chisora win. Chisora's very popular, he sold that place out, and, he's never really scored a really good win against a top opponent, is he? Whoops, just knocked something over. I'm watching the Super Bowl, man. I did a couple of videos on it. I can't believe how zesty them 2 bucks are. I find them quite funny, actually, but they just sit there flirting with each other. You know what I mean? And the Kansas City Chiefs are getting absolutely waxed. And I predicted every single NFL game. I'm not NFL game, Super Bowl game for years now. And won. I went for Seattle here. The reason being, they always have these little signs, these little signals. They'll have, they'll want to push something. There's a lot of people think NFL is completely and utterly rigged. There's even guys that have come out, ex-NFL players, that they should give us little playbooks. I mean, I know that they have a playbook anyway about what they're going to do, but this is what's going to happen. I mean, like it was a piece of theatre. You will fall over. You will, saying exactly what will happen in a game. If you look at a lot of videos, they've got videos where they've got magnetic gloves and they're making these ridiculous catches. You got another one they do is when a guy's running with the ball. Okay, when a guy's running with the ball, all these guys will run and tackle them, and they'll just fall over. I mean, it's pathetic. These guys are meant to be the best of the best, and they can't bring a man down when they're right near them. They all fall over. It's bizarre. Anyway, this is not about the NFL. It's about boxing and Otto Wallin and whether that's fixed. So, yeah, I mean, obviously they want, Chisora, and Wallin does not sell a ticket, not even Layla Dong, the DIE hire, his diversity queen turned up for this fight. At least we didn't see her. I think they've been dumped. And I think I know why. But, after she came to the Gage fight in Saudi, actually, which is weird because, you know what, obviously it's allegedly a strict Islamic Wahhabi state, but as I said, they are going to change it. You watch, they will change it. They will start to bring in. They've already brought in. Women weren't allowed to drive alone or go out alone before, and then they had a head of boxing who was a woman, boxing development. You can now buy alcohol under certain circumstances. They're making it a centre for entertainment. And by the way, the Saud royal family, the House of Saud. I suggest you check their early life section. Now things won't make sense. Why Saudi and Israel are allies when they should be enemies, you'd think. A strict Muslim nation, Isa, right? Anyway, so there's no money in Otto, the Orjula Wallin. I mean, like I said, you can't sell a ticket, man. You know what I mean? Swedish people are not very interested in boxing, right? There's only 7 million Swedes. Well, there were. I mean, I don't know how many are actually indigenous now. About 30% of their country's now foreign-born. They had a perfect country and they ruined it. Because diversity is so great and it's our greatest strength. And Stockholm is now the rape capital of the world. It's insane. And still they will defend it, Swedes. They are that moronic. As you can see with Otto. So, Otto, he's just not a name. He's never going to sell tickets. He was borderline world class, and really it is only borderline. He basically lived off cutting Tyson Fury. Yeah, and he was quite dirty in that. He kept on trying to open the cut and stuff like that, which is weird for a Swede. They usually like to play within the rules. Okay, guys, no PEDs. I don't need them. But yeah, so Otto was never going to sell tickets. Chisora does sell tickets. Regardless of the fact that, he's lost more big fights than he's won. I mean, you go through Chisora's resume. So he's had 49 fights. The 49th fight was against Wallin, and he wants the 50th, final 50th fight. There was an eliminator for the IBF title, this Wallin Chisora. So, he'd be lined up against the winner of Daniel Dubam and Joseph Parker. So if you go Chisora's record, and so he's had 49 fights, as I said. He's lost 13 though. Yeah. He's got 23 KOs out of 36 win. I mean, so he's got like a 55% KO ratio. He's lost most of his big fights. If you go for his record, Tyson Fury lost 3 times. Pulev, he lost once. He won one, but most people think Pulev won. He lost to Joseph Parker twice. Lost to Usyk. I've yet to see. I'm looking at his record. I'm yet to see a world-class fighter here. KO David Price, but David was shot and gone. I thought Spilka chinny as anything. Dillian White KO'd him. He beat Carlos Takam, sort of borderline world class, but he was old. Dillian White, he lost. Pulev. You see, so basically, he lost against anyone half decent. He's got a couple. David Gay, obviously, Vitaly Klitschko, Hellenius, who was borderline world class. He was kind of shown up. He lost a split decision too. Some guys say Chisora should have won, but you can see, he's sort of British title / European level. Yeah, one of his best ones was probably against Sam Sexton, which is clearly British level. So he's you know, he hasn't really got any serious world class wins on his record. You know, a couple of guys he did beat were completely shot. Takam Pulev, and that was probably that was a robbery. You know, Joe Joyce was probably his biggest win, but Joe Joyce had been gilet janged. I mean, you don't bounce back from being janged by the Big Bang. You know what I'm saying? It's just not possible. It's not possible. You get your chin cracked by the Big Bang and it's all over. But you know, so now Chisora's trying to get. Well, you know, at the end of the fight, he was going, "Oh, who do you want me to fight next?" And it was Gage, Usyk, and Dubon. You know, for his final fight. You know, it's probably going to be in Saudi. I mean, the whole fight itself. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Let me think. They should all beat him up. Usyk obviously has already beaten him on points. Gage. The things about Chisora, he's just not that big a puncher. He's aggressive and throws a lot of shots, but he's not a big puncher. Despite flooring Otto, and Otto's a bum. We'll get onto that later because they were very dodgy, those knockdowns. But, you know, Gage, you probably could put him over, consider Gage's chin's cracked, but I expect Gage to win that. Usyk would obviously win that, and Usyk will have no interest in fighting Chisora. Daniel Dubon, yeah, but, you know, it's whoever. Dubon's got a fight lined up, you know. Well, if Dubon loses to Parker, then you'd think that Chisora would rather go for Parker because he's a mandatory. Yeah, that's just a bit of theatre. Was pathetic. Now, go back to was it fixed and why do I think it was fixed? Well, like I said, Otto Wallin sells no tickets, right? This is the Derek Chisora show. He sold out the whole place. I don't really know why. He's good. He's good at doing his own PR. He's good at interviews. He's quite funny. He's always got heart, but he's a messy fighter in many ways. He just sort of trundles forward, throwing a load of hooks. Yeah, he doesn't really throw many straight shots at all, and that's probably why he beat Wallin, because Wallin's eyes are too close together. I told you that. Well, Wallin's eyes are too close together, so a guy like Chisora who only throws hooks is going to be a nightmare for him. And it was an 18-foot ring, like tiny, man. So, you know, when you got heavyweights, right? 2 steps and your back's against the ropes. Yeah. So, that, you know, that could be called just a sort of bit of gamesmanship or whatever by the promoters and, you know, to increase the likelihood of a Chisora win. But, and we look at the actual fight. And you know what? It was weird. I looked at loads of forums, Twitter, and people are going, you know, he was knocked down twice, wasn't he, Wallin? Yeah. And it looked like a dive. You know, people say it looked like a dive if I've ever seen one. I've never seen a guy literally fly the whole way across the ring diagonally to a knockdown before. And it wasn't a great shot. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Otto he made no effort to win. He did cut Chisora, you know. But that was a headbutt, so, you know. So that's not his punches. He did block a few shots. But again, that indicates to me, if you just block shots and you don't throw any punches back, well, that indicates to me you're either, you know, gun shy, you're scared of getting hit back, or you know, in this possible case, throwing a fight. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same with that David Morales. He sat there with his hands up, not throwing enough. You know, obviously Wallin landed some shots. You know, Chisora's face was a bit bruised up, but there was also, you know, the cut was caused by a headbutt. You know, there's guys, I've seen guys on Twitter, and they're saying, no, he's just that Wallin shouldn't even be paid. He did not try at all. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you took he had one win over an African in 60 seconds in his last fight. Before that, Gage slapped him up and he quit and became the white quitter oil driller. And then Layla Dog left him, and I've got a theory why Layla Dog left him, and check this out. Hey, well, anyway, now the fight is over, I thought I'd really like to see you with Anthony. What do you mean see me with Anthony, huh? Well, Layla, is to have jacks together. Whilst I watch in the cock chair. The cock chair that we have in our hotel room. That's what it's for. Eh? What is this? You want to watch a gay do bang bang with me, eh? What is wrong with you, Otto? No, it's not wrong. It's natural. I read it in the New York Times. Also, being a cuckold is part of my culture. It's a Swedish tradition to be a cuck. Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of sickness. A modern Swede would get up to, thinking, hey, it's okay to experiment. There's nothing wrong with cuckolding. It's natural. I just want to see my woman with another man. Pathetic, gross pervert. So, but yeah, Dong seems to have got rid of him after he got beaten up by Gay J. And it was that usual thing at the end. He just didn't throw enough shots. He never showed any urgency, even when he was way behind. Even after he'd been knocked down twice or flew across the ring magically. Like on a magic carpet. He looked like he was sitting down. I've never seen a knockdown like that. And nor of a load of other people. Nor of a bunch of other people who said this on Twitter and on the forums. They said, I've never seen such a knockdown. Never seen something like this. Flying across the ring. He's just a bad actor, Otto. And, he never looked unhappy. He just never looked unhappy like Otto at the end of the fight. He was all smiling again and shaking hands. And, obviously he knew he'd lost. Well, that was why he was brought in, to lose. And people who think, people like, hey, of course you did. You just don't know about boxing. Chisora just out-hearted and out-working. Chisora's awful in that fight. But he just threw punches. So many of them were blocked by the ore driller, and landed, his legs seemed gone. His coordination seemed gone, Chisora. He looked terrible. I'm sick of him as well. I'm sick of him. He makes me laugh, but I'm sick of him. It's for his own good, man. How many millions has he learned? It's what he speaks about, sending his daughter's product to school. Well, I think you've got enough to... What, if you've got 30 or 50 daughters you need to pay for? I mean, come on, man. That's a Danny Williams syndrome. I need to pay for my kids' private education, innit? So I keep on getting my brains battered. I won't be able to recognise my own daughters in about 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So... it's just, like I said, Chisora's bad. Yeah, at least he's always had a high work rate. Then he sort of gasses and he looks completely gone. And then completely gone. And then he, and then he keeps on throwing. It's quite weird. It's quite weird. So, there's some evidence there. Wallin not trying, Wallin not caring that he's lost. The ridiculously weird flying knockdown, which is just of a little shot. I've never seen anything like that, nor has anyone else. And I don't know how many thousands of boxing matches I've watched. I mean, literally, at all kinds of levels. Wallin just didn't do anything. He just didn't do anything. He just sat back. He'd occasionally throw a couple of shots. The best damage he did was with his head. It was probably an accident. He'd probably like, oh no. But, I don't even think the ref called it a headbutt. But I'm pretty sure it would have been, in which case Chisora would have won on points anyway. So, it's no big deal. I was hoping, I'd put a bet, I said on Chisora to knock out the the Swedish bum. Unfortunately, he didn't, but he came close. And anyway, so I lost my... And one of my fans, I did a commentary, one of my fans promised me a tenner if the ore driller got knocked out. And I would have won 35 quid on my bet profit. So I lost 45 quid because of Chisora didn't manage to stop the Swedish bum. And like I said, obviously all the promoters and all that want Chisora to win because they can make money off Chisora. See how full that, yeah? The whole stadium was full in Manchester. Chisora's not even from Manchester. isn't he? He's from London. Well, he was born in Zimbabwe, but he's somewhere in London, right? And yeah, he sold it out. So, you know, Otto Wallin, you know, could be fighting in Sweden or wherever, you know, and there'd be about 10 people turning up to watch him. They'd all be family, you know. And he's got that bum Joey Gamache in his corner who's completely punch drunk, yeah, you know, and just mad. Go look at his Instagram, Joey Gamache. I've got to do a video on this idiot. It's tragic, really. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was a setup. It was a setup. He still has a name, Wallin, even though technically I don't think Wallin's never really been anyone of anywhere near. Let me have a look again at his record. You know, he's like that bum Frank Bruno, where you know his reputation is off his losses. You know, oh, he gave Tyson Fury a tough fight. Well, he cut him. He beat Dominic Brazil. Was that a world class fighter? Maybe, you know, borderline. That's it, really. That's his best win. Dominic Brazil. You know, and you beat some sort of lower ranked journeyman types. But Wallin's name is purely off the back of the fact, you know, he gave Tyson a fight and cut him. Right? So this is probably one of those situations where they're like, you know, there's only 3 heavyweights in Sweden fighting. There's only 3 heavyweights, man. So Otto's king of 3. One of the guys looks like he's from, I don't know, Turkey or Afghanistan or somewhere. The other guy is Otto, who's Turkish. I mean, Turkish. He's Swedish, but, you know, he likes all drilling. And some other bum who I've never heard of. So there's only 3 heavyweights in Sweden, you know. There's no money to be made by Otto for promoter or for himself, except as the opponent, right? And that was what happened with Chisora, you know. I think he was like, look, you know, he'd just been beaten up by Gay J, and there was nowhere really for him to go. He knew he was limited. You know, the fact he got smashed up by Gay J probably made him think a bit. He goes, look, I'm not really going to make it in boxing, especially without Petey Dish, right? And so, in which case, you know, I might as well accept this fight. I'll get a decent payday. I don't know what he got paid. Maybe £1 million, maybe. I don't know. Maybe less. Maybe $500,000. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a massive show. I don't know. Do you know, it's quite funny. It's quite hard to work out what people get paid for these kind of shows. They never advertise it, you know. And I don't believe the papers anything. They go, oh, such got 100 million, Conor McGregor to fight Floyd Mayweather. I doubt it. They just announced that because it sounds good. Anyway, so I believe there's a good possibility it was fixed because Wallin wasn't getting no paydays. This was a payday that wasn't especially dangerous. You know, that knockdown was so ridiculous. He didn't try properly, right? And typical thing at the end, he was all shaky hands and hugging and everything, and he didn't even seem bothered he'd lost, you know? Didn't seem bothered he lost. And it gives Chisora, and the reason that they wanted to fix it for Chisora because it gives him a big payday, you know, and his promoter and his manager, everyone gets a good payday. Because he's still a name, even though he's a slightly undeservedly big name. I give him credit for it. For a limited fighter, he's got a lot of money. I can't think of anyone else that limited who's made that much money or had that many big fights and lost that many all his big fights just about. So, but you know they'll probably drag him out and stick him in Saudi Arabia against someone. He'll get battered. I mean, any of those guys that he was talking about, Usyk won't fight him. Why would Usyk want to fight Chisora? You know? Gay J might do, because it might get his confidence back. I mean, Chisora is exactly the kind of guy that Gay J should be expected to batter. He's 41, Chisora. Or like, as I said, he's a mandatory for the RBF. And so that's the one he should go for. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not particularly... I'd rather see him retire. Like I said, he'll be blowing bubbles, talking to lampposts, looking at these people in his house going, who are you? I'm your daughter, Daddy. I told you this morning. All right, sorry, I forgot. You know? And all the millions you'll get, they'll probably get robbed by his own family, and he'll be sitting there like Gerald McLennan, you know, not knowing what's going on. But I know I don't find that funny with Chisora, because Chisora, to my knowledge, is a bad person. Gerald McLennan's an evil piece of shit, and I'm so glad he's where he is. But Chisora, well, didn't he get done for assaulting his girlfriend? Although, you know, I don't think his proper wife beating. He apparently had enough of her when she was playing up. He grabbed her, he bent her over his knee and slapped her ass up. I mean, I think that's pretty based, actually. So that probably makes me like Chisora more. Anyway, right, yeah. I mean, I do think there's a good chance it was fixed. Or you know, the other possibility is that Wallin is just so bad. But you know, Wallin is still good enough to have competed at international level as an amateur, and he competed at just below or fringe world level as a pro. I mean, Tyson Fury obviously and Gage are obviously legitimate high level world class boxers, but he lost both. But yeah, there's a lot of signs that he was just given the payday. He goes, look, we want Derek to win because he wants his 50 fights. You know, he was going on and on about it, my 50th fight, my 50th fight. Well, if he lost this, then who's going to be interested in a 50th Chisora fight? Whereas now, it's a story. And the commentary were pathetic. Oh, we're in awe of Chisora. The crowd are in awe of Chisora. He's such an amazing fighter. I mean, these guys are chipping, man. But the thing is, right, you know, you can't... the public are stupid and easily brainwashed, but, you know, you can get a turd and roll it around in glitter, but it's still a turd. And that's what this fight was, turd. I find it very odd that all these people came to watch, all these Manx came up to watch Chisora fight. But anyway, yeah, was it fixed? Tell me in the comments what you think. But, you know, remember those knockdowns. Check them out. Check this out. The flying knockdown. Yeah, and that's enough of Otto. I'm not going to do no more Otto videos for a bit. I'm sick of him. He's a bum. He's whack. He's a cuck. He's a quitter and an oil driller. And I'm sick of the sight of that bum.